Hello there. Welcome to our channel Recycling and Waste Management. This is our first introductory lesson about circular economy, recycling, and composting. So if you are interested in ecology and want to become more environmentally friendly, you've come to the right place. So let's get started with waste facts. Global waste consumption composition consists of 44% of food and green, as well as wood. They don't pose a threat to our nature because they are created and decomposed by nature. Uh, However, another more than half of the circle is taken by anthropogenic human-made materials such as glass, metal, paper and cardboard, plastic, rubber, and leather. They all are left as landfills, and only a small part of them are recycled. So they are dangerous to our future generations and our environment overall. Also, from the second map, you can see global state of waste management. Uh, these are countries' waste management score on the base of Yale's Environmental Performance Index taken in 2022. As you can see, uh, many countries in Asia and Africa are not widespread in waste management activities. They don't typically do them, and they use mostly landfills and incineration as main waste disposal methods. However, in northern and west Europe, also Central Middle Asia, and Canada and USA, they all are doing well in this um, waste management activities, since they have from a score ranging from 51 to more than 70%. Um, so they're doing great in the form of recycling their waste efficiently. So further, we have annually facts that states that annually our planet becomes home to about 2.01 billion tons of municipal solid waste, and that figure is anticipated to reach 3.40 billion in about 30 years. Despite all the recycling technologies in use, less than 20% of waste is recycled annually, and they're mostly recycled by high-income countries in regions of Europe and North America. So, and also Australia, for example. Uh, so, with the remaining 80% of land waste is becoming landfill sites, which is bad because they release methane, and it is very harmful to our uh, nature, and it causes climate change, releasing greenhouse gases. There are four main methods of dealing with waste. First is landfilling. It's waste buried between layers of earth or even on its earth or its surface. Uh, it is not ecologically friendly, and I will explain then the reason for that. Second method is incineration. Waste is burned sometimes for energy production, so it's the only like advantage of incineration. They take electricity and uh, energy sources from burning these landfills, but it is not eco-friendly as well. So there are only two like good uh, renewable sources methods of uh, disposing of renewable sources. First is composting. It's like waste is broken down from organic materials into soil, but uh, it it is related to materials that are only biodegradable. So human-made materials like glass, metal, the and electronic waste, they are not biodegradable, so they're not applicable here. So they go to the fourth method, recycling, which is waste converted into new materials and objects. Um, and further, I want to list all the disadvantages of landfills. Firstly, it deals health and environmental hazard to the ecosystems and biosphere. Second is spreading disease and pestilence. Um, and third is water pollution. They also do soil degradation to our earth, releasing toxins into the inner soil. And also, the last minus is methane release. As I said earlier, um, incineration has many disadvantages as well. First is human and animal toxicity, because this smoke is harmful for our lungs and eyes, and they like harm our health overall. Second is eutrophication. It is excessive nutrients lead to algal blooms and low oxygen waters. It's like waste wetlands full with green mud. Um, yes. And third disadvantage is global warming, uh, aka air pollution and greenhouse gas release. The most of them is like carbon dioxide and not nitrous oxide, and also water vapor, but it takes a small proportion of all greenhouse gases. So acidification, it is like uh, makes water sources acid, which is bad and harmful for like our water sources because we drink them and we get poisoned. Also, photochemical formation, and another name is smoke, as I said. They provide poor vision and uh, like degrade our health of our eyes. Garbage collection and open dumps. This is mainly what like middle income countries and low income countries do. Most of the world waste is created in urban environments. Cities generate like 1.3 billion tons of waste per year. Is expected to rise to 2.2 billion tons by 2025 in like 1 year left. About half of the world has no access to basic garbage collection, so they throw all the waste to everywhere, like lakes, seas, and for example, outside to open land. Around 40% use open dumps for their waste, mostly in the world's poorest countries, as I said. And also, I want to provide definition of open dumps. Land disposal. It is land disposal site at which solid wastes are disposed of in a manner that doesn't protect the environment, are susceptible to open burning, uh, incineration, and are exposed to the elements, vectors, and scavengers. Um, because it is a comfortable environment for this like insects and other harmful animals. Um, so we are getting closer to the recycling and benefits of recycling. Recycling is conversion of waste into renewable sources. On the left top corner, you can see ecological footprint. It's like natural amount of natural resources necessary to maintain individual's life or economic activity of the whole humanity. So 56%, 57% is taken by factories, cars, and all the technologies that forced carbon sequestration in this context means transferring carbon dioxide from solid and liquid state to uh, into the fluid air, so it releases by different uh, processes of burning. Also, build up land is only takes a very small percent, 0.1%. So uh, your urban environment doesn't really take up much space on the world. However, grazing land and cropland, they are second and third after the carbon releasing all technologies. We need them to feed ourselves and uh, make agriculture and farming enough for our increasing population. And also forest land and fishing grounds are the smallest one after build up land. So they uh, they are necessary only a little compared to other sources for our lives. We are, as a humanity, depleting all these resources of nature. By increasing population, this pressure on our nature increases very significantly. So we need to establish recycling and improve it on the global level. For example, by installing this e-waste, glass, metal, paper, organic, and plastic bins. By that, we are sorting materials and um, remanufacturing. We can remanufacture these materials again instead of using new input overall again and again. So benefits of recycling are conserving finite natural resources and preserving nature, as I said. It means less deforestation, mining, and extraction of these natural resources and metal, for example. Uh, Also, second advantage is protecting ecosystems and wildlife by not disrupting environment. So we save um, nature as it is and don't like break processes built in it from the centuries ago. Uh, Third is less need for landfill use, other waste storage areas. It means preserving green spaces. These green spaces we can use for other purposes, for example, parks and renewable energy resources, um, and also buildings. The fourth advantage is less energy consumption compared to transporting and manufacturing new products. It is more beneficial and efficient compared to producing new output because you all you need is to just recycle them instead of extracting and transporting them and manufacturing some products. For example, 95% more energy it requires to make aluminum can from scratch rather than just recycling it in the special centers of recycling centers. Yes, uh, we as you can see recycling system. It is consists of 6 stages. First is material is collected from homes and depots by these trucks. Then material is delivered to a receiving or sorting facility, and material is sorted by people in this factory facility into different materials that I showed before. Also, they're collected, like in this picture, in the form of bales, and material is sold to end markets to be made into new packaging or products. So these products end up uh, in primary end markets. Majority of materials like plastic, paper, metal, and glass, main ones produced by human people. Uh, so instead of uh, like extracting, we're just using these resources repeatedly. Recycling is an international business, and multinational companies, corporations, buy sorted bales to manufacture goods for their product markets or convert trash into reusable material. Even country governments buy waste from overseas, usually HSCs, uh, to obtain usually from HSCs to obtain useful raw materials or incinerate this waste for electricity production. For example, the popular example is China buying like landfills from all countries, developed countries, to incinerate and get some uh, like valuable materials and also make electricity and energy. Uh, as we move to the benefits of composting, there are five main, but there are actually even more, but I took this five. So first is waste reduction. It means composting diverts organic waste from landfills, reducing the volume of trash and minimizing methane emissions, polluting greenhouse gases, which is important to prevent climate change and global warming. Second is soil enrichment. It like compost adds essential nutrients to the oil, improving its fertility, structure, and texture, which enhances plant growth, and health of them. Third is water retention. Compost increases the soil's ability to retain moisture, reducing the need for frequent watering and promoting water conservation. By saving this water, uh, we we make this resource less scarce in the world, and we're saving this finite resource. And also reduction of chemical fertilizers we use in the agriculture often by providing natural nutrients to plants. Compost reduces reliance on chemical fertilizers that which can harm the environment and human health if overused. For example, in vegetables, it's a common case. The last advantage is carbon sequestration. Composting requires carbon in the soil, helping mitigate climate change by reducing atmospheric carbon dioxide levels and promoting soil health. Soil health. Uh, that's why it reduces carbon dioxide in the air. So moving to the circular economy, it's a model of production and consumption which involves sharing, leasing, reusing, repairing, refurbishing, and recycling existing materials and products as long as possible. It is increasingly powered by renewable energy. It supports it, uh, and also we use mining materials in manufacturing to produce technical side products. Uh, it, from this butterfly diagram, you can see biological and technical cycles. Technical is products that are not non-biodegradable. Uh, as we can see, recycle is outer direction, but it's a last resort because products are more valuable in the form of products. We need to save them as products as long as it can be, instead of like remanufacturing it again and again and taking uh, components out of these products. Um, Also, that's why we use reuse, maintenance, and sharing strategies. Reuse and it's like redistribution. It's like remanufacturing the goods that are broken. For example, uh, mainly the manufacturing solves a lot of issues. It saves time and effort and materials because you just use broken technology and material and build the same one, just replacing some uh, broken components in it. For example, if we take remanufactured in engine, it is despite its like uh, high uh, R&D and a lot of uh, components and details in it, we can now remanufacture for 80% of the engine, and 20% is replacements that are required. So it shows efficiency and um, next level of using materials instead of using the same material instead of creating and um, extracting new one. So the second strategy is maintenance by keeping technology and objects uh, by tracking them. We prevent any breakages and we prevent uh, errors. So by taking care of it, we deal not with consequences, negative consequences, but we timely uh, solve this issue uh, and reveal the cause uh, fastly. So by just checking this object and or technology, you save up much time and effort instead of just throwing it up if it's broken. So you just need to uh, regularly regularly check this item for any errors and must be aware of its state. The last one is sharing, especially leasing. Imagine that every material or product is can be public, rented, like a car or a house, for example, apartment. It is much more useful because nowadays every person wants to have an item by uh, yourself. So uh, every person almost have a car, for example, and but this car is dedicated for 5 people. But however, often there are one or two people, and they drive only 10% of their time, and other 90% is just there standing still. So it shows inefficiency um, by just owning it. So sharing these products will be much smarter. way of using resources wisely, because we're just not letting uh, uh, overconsumption to deplete our resources and uh, manage well our finite uh, materials. Yes. Biological cycle is mainly the same. By cascades, you are reusing these materials, these products over and over, but you just change its functions, for example, but its functionality stays the same. By the way, cascades are the sequential and consecutive use of resources. Um, if we take like wood, timber, um, we initially, for example, have a house, but when it loses its quality, we can make it a fence, then a table, then a chair, or even smaller objects. So we are trying to reuse this material as much as possible instead of just uh, wasting it on energy recovery and or landfill, um, or when it's we can't extend its these objects or materials a lifetime. We are uh, we're sending it to biochemical feedstock. Feedstock, it's a renewable biological material that can be used directly as a fuel or converted to another form of fuel or energy product. It most often used to support large-scale chemical reactions, which are usually organic substances. When referring to both post-harvest and post-consumer biological materials as feedstock, the process uses biorefineries to produce low volume, high value chemical products. For example, uh, we can use corn if it's not eatable. We can turn it into ethanol, and we can use crude oil and turn it into gasoline. So by this, we are uh, regularly of constantly reusing material over and over and uh, not letting it just uh, be a landfill. And this outer line is um, giving this materials back to the nature. It's like regeneration. It's by extraction of biochemical feedstock and anaerobical digestion and composting. We are regenerating, returning these materials, natural materials, uh, to the nature, and also we are recovering its natural nutrient, make it nutrient rich, and recovering the soil itself. For example, by composting, which means it requires oxygen under the layers of biodegradable waste. Organisms oxidize the organic matter. This process transforms the waste into a nutrient-rich fertilizer. Its only disadvantage is that oxygen also releases carbon dioxide. However, this composting is eco-friendly practice because it's a clean source of recycling. Anaerobic digestion is the process by which microorganisms break down biodegradable materials without using oxygen. This process is much slower but more useful as the process itself produces methane, which is key concept of biogas. Biogas is like valuable today to fuel vehicles, heat houses, and generate electricity. Furthermore, biogas is a renewable as well as clean source of energy. Gas generated through digestion is non-polluting, meaning that it reduces greenhouse emissions. Driving the biogas car instead of combustion engine car reduces one's carbon footprint by 17.5% per year. So we are saving also, um, we're decreasing carbon release by almost 20% by using bio fuel instead of um, gasoline. By regenerating soil, we can make it able to harvest even more because after like 60 harvests, soil becomes depleted. There are no like water and micro elements, so it becomes desertificated. But however, by using this biogas and composting, we feed and return soil into its initial state. So this circular economy is very efficient in terms of uh, recovering soil and also recycling and reusing material over and over, uh, not over producing and over consuming materials and making production and consumption more sustainable. So we got to the end of this lesson. In conclusion, to avoid the overconsumption of renewable natural resources, we need to start with changes in our daily behavior. The choices we make can have a considerable impact on our future sustainability. Of course, businesses and manufacturers will not like this idea since it's not profitable for them. However, showing retailers and manufacturers that we want sustainable options will generate greater demand and lead to increased supply. All we need to do is just to begin with ourselves and engage others. In further video lessons, I will teach you to sort waste for recycling and compost organic materials. So if you're interested in applying knowledge, you are welcome. See you in the next video. Goodbye.